What's going on, y'all? Johnson's Logic back with another video. And do I have a story for y'all? I already had to make my first kind of major decision as an owner-operator. Financial and I guess, yeah, definitely financial. But yeah, we'll get to it in just a minute. What's going on, y'all? So, I guess you can't really see it, huh? Nope. Let's see. Anyway, I'll see if I can show y'all, or if I can pull up some pictures. If I can find some better lighting, that'll work. So, from my last video, y'all know that I just got new airlines put on 6 days ago. So, as you can see, we're back in the shop because my airline snapped. And I wish I had some type of lighting to show you guys what's going on. I'll probably record a separate clip and put it in here so I can show you. But if not, then whatever. Anyway, airline snapped. When we picked up this trailer, I was asleep, obviously, but picked up this trailer. And we had to slide the tandems and everything. That's about the time I woke up. Walked inside to the truck stop at the time and went to the bathroom. And I was walking back out to the truck while Brian was finishing up sliding the tandems. Took a look at my airlines, noticed they were kind of low. And I'm like, oh, I see, apparently every trailer is different. Because my last trailer had no issues. I went from Midwest to the West Coast to the East Coast back to the Midwest with that same trailer. With that same trailer. No issues. Got this trailer and I noticed my airlines were hanging a little lower than normal. And I'm like, oh, looks like we got to be careful on certain turns. That way it doesn't get caught on my catwalk like I've already complained about before, because this truck used to be flatbed. So when the truck was flatbed, they cut a hole in my catwalk. So if my airlines hang lower than the catwalk, they get caught. But it wasn't quite that low. It was just low enough. So I was like, oh, we got to be careful on, make sure we don't make any hard left or right turns. That way it won't get snagged on the thing again, like I've already dealt with before in the past. So, and it's nobody's fault. It was kind of my fault. I was half asleep. But Brian was driving, made a left turn. And Brian actually did a fantastic job. He stopped in the middle of the turn. Which we were in a parking lot, we weren't on the street, but he stopped in the middle of the turn and hollered back at me. It's like, hey, what turns do we need to be careful on? Was it left or right? And I told him right, and he was making a left turn. I was asleep, not even thinking about it. So he turns left and then snap. So my blue airline is snapped in half. So basically, I had to limp this trailer. I had two options. It was either wait for a service truck, which anybody who knows, the service truck is what, like $500 just for them to come out and respond to a call. And we already had an open road assist claim for our turn signal on our trailer, because the marker light is on, but it won't blink for our blinkers. Or for our left turn signal. So we were already on the way to a shop. Well, at first they wanted to call a service truck out to us. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, even though I wouldn't have to pay for that. But then once the airline snapped, now the service truck would have been, my expense. So it came down to either limping the trailer to the nearest open service station or call a service truck. I thought to myself, the smart thing to do would be to wait for a service truck. The owner-operator in me said, hook up the red airline and let's roll to the nearest service station. So that's what I did, because I don't want to spend $500 if I don't have to. So we did that, and it was like nearest one. First, my GPS on my phone, because I saw it was, we were 14 miles from a TA on my phone when I first pulled it up. So I got with road assist. I'm like, hey, this thing's 14 miles away. I can limp it 14 miles. He's like, okay, you know. Well, he didn't say okay. He advised against it. because that, obviously that's a hazard. So he did his job, but I felt like I was safe enough to be able to go 14 miles down the road. And it's not like he can really stop me. Sorry to say it like that, but I felt safe enough to be able to go 14 miles down the road. And so I told him I was just gonna, instead of calling out a service truck and charging me $500, I'll go 14 miles, at below average speed and put my hazards on and just go down the road 14 miles. So start heading that way, or I start planning to head that way, because at the time we were getting a CAT scale. Start heading that way, put it in my GPS, and realized that 14 miles was actually 80 something miles away. And I'm like, oh crap, 80 miles. At that point, I had already told him I was going to limp it. So I'm like, well, it's going to be a long 80 miles. So I start heading that way. Then I got smarter. And I was like, you know what? I should probably call that TA, let them know I'm coming. That way they can go ahead and get the parts together, because we're heading out to finish up. We're literally on Brian's last trip to complete his miles. I'm like, we can knock this out. I can make it back to Springfield, make it to my appointment on Wednesday. So I called the TA and I'm like, hey, here's the issue. Just want to make sure we can go ahead and get this fixed, blah, blah, any wait times or whatever. Unbeknownst to me, that particular TA closes at 11 o'clock, as I was just told, or 11 p.m. And I looked down at the time and it was, that's right, 11:08 p.m. I'm like, oh crap. So I'm just driving, bringing my brain. He's like, just bring it in at 6 a.m. I was like, okay, I can either shut down at this TA and just wait for them to come in at 6 a.m. or find the next service station. So got on the phone, there's road assist, and I'm like, hey, here's the situation. The shop is closed. Instead of calling out a road truck, is there anything on my route that is open? And he's like, there's a shop in Gary, Indiana. You can go out there and get it fixed. I was like, okay, are you sure it's 24 hours? And he's like, yeah, it's 24 hours. So, okay, good. Can you go ahead and send the work order over there? I'll head that way. And he's like, sure. So he sends out the work order. I put the address in my GPS, and so my 14-mile deadhead turned into a 200-mile, not really deadhead because I'm under a load, but 200-mile trailer shuttle, or a limp, because I only have one airline. It was just the red one. So that was the longest 200-mile drive I've had to do. So hindsight 2020, I would have just called a service truck. But I was able to make it here safely, slowly but safely. I'm sorry that the light keeps going out. Obviously, you see I'm walking. But we were able to make it here safely, and now we're gonna get it repaired. Like, I wish I could show you guys the light in there. I guess this kind of light. Let me see. So yeah. So this snapped. So I have my red airline hanging right here. So we have air to tire. Can't really see it. So my catwalk is cut right here, and my airlines get snagged. I know it's kind of hard to see, but my airlines get snagged on there and break. And so my blue airline, I don't know where the broken pieces are. I think it's in my side box. But my blue airline is completely snapped off the hose, so I didn't have a blue airline. So, it's kind of one of those things. Like, it wasn't Brian's fault. It was really my fault, because, when he asked me a question, I should have fully woke up first, but, I'm asleep. Things happen, you know what I mean? It's not, probably the only thing I'm upset about is that I wasn't awake enough to properly answer his question. But stuff happens, things break, you pay for it, you get it fixed, you get moving, you know what I mean? So it's kind of, it's all about part of training, because the same thing would have happened to me solo. I would have had to done the same thing. So obviously I'm not going to be upset at Brian about it. Like, it's a learning experience, and it's good because we haven't had to have a road assist issue like this our entire training period. And of course, just terrible timing. It happens on his last trip, but at least it happened. And that's why I was letting him know. And, this is advice for all TNT students and trainers. Like, I'd rather stuff happen to my truck than for you to get on your own and then you're completely lost on what to do. You know what I mean? Or you don't know what all your options are. So I told him, it sucks as far as timing is considered, but I'm glad it happened with me. That's just my 2 cents about it. But yeah, so my first, it's Saturday going into Sunday right now. I think it's like 2 a.m. or 1 a.m., something like that. Or I don't know what time it is. Anyway, got here, checked in, and waiting to get they're finishing up another truck in another bay, and they're gonna come down and pull me in. I forgot what I was about to say about that, or what I was about to say for that. I can't remember, so I'm not gonna edit this video. So yeah, that's basically it. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say now. So yeah, I've been an owner operator for a day, and I'm already having to replace an airline that I just bought 6 days ago. And that's another thing that pisses me off. I was like, I just bought these airlines, so I'm like, nah. And that's why I was like, oh, it should be good. It's brand new springs. It should, even if it gets slightly caught, it should be able to, guide it out. But not the case, obviously, because I wouldn't be here. So it just kind of sucks. So that's basically it for this video. Right now, our plan is to get to Springfield on Wednesday, because right now I am still running under my lease numbers, and that's why I haven't really made a owner op video. Technically, I'm still, even though the truck is paid for, it's still a lease truck at this present moment until I can go get all this stuff changed out for it to switch to an owner op truck. So until I can get my lease numbers changed, technically I'm still a lease operator, but officially I'm an owner operator. So we have an appointment Wednesday to go get all my numbers changed. I also need to make a shop appointment, because I forgot about doing that. But my plan is to be Springfield Wednesday, probably be there until about Saturday or Sunday, maybe. But that's our plan for this week. That's why we're kind of on a crunch for time to finish his miles. Basically, we have to shoot out to California, and from California come straight to Springfield, and that way I can make this appointment. So once I can change the numbers on the truck, then I can be like, okay, now I'm officially, here's my owner operator truck, you know what I mean? But that's gonna be it for this video. Like I always say, if you guys are thinking, you might as well do it logically, especially in situations like this, because you never know what's gonna happen out on the road. Until next time, I'll see you. Peace.